Hey guys, welcome back to some of Stanley's Parable. I'm picking where I left off.
Coming to a
The last
staircase,
episode. Okay,
Stanley
so we're
walked
going
upstairs
upstairs
to his boss's
to our
office.
boss's office. So let's make our way up. Sidestep. Sidestep.
Stepping into his manager's
Wait,
office, Stanley was once
four,
again
five,
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Open the door.
Kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh my god. This guy, I tell you. This guy, damn annoying. This dude is damn annoying.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Wow, I can float. Come on. Sorry about that. Okay. Wait, is there another way? I want to see if there's another way. No. Okay. Down. We're back in this elevator again. Okay, come on. Go. Come on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yes. Aha!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Did
he have the strength to find
watch
out?
the El Clasico this weekend. This is to watch the Clasico this weekend. Come on. Okay.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
That's my room.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Go. Escape.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
You don't even have
was
a
it
scenery.
even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What's this? This is sound button. Okay, let's walk up. We swag our way down. Swag our way down. Go here. Go up. Ah, press. I can't press it. Don't press it. Go walk down into the laser water. Oh. Oh, it's just light. You wanted my action. So boring. Wow. Come on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power...
On. Oh no, I pressed off. I was gonna press on. And I pressed off. Wow. Okay. She's gonna put some ancient music.
And a rising chill of uncertainty.
I'm gonna hear this music.
Was it over? Yes.
Oh, doorway opening.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
That's a nice doorway.
Freedom was mere moments away.
Can you not move towards the doorway or something?
Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Isn't there like another button?
Did this strange building hold?
Oh, I have to go here.
As sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Go.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let
come
go.
on. No
longer
we are entering civilization, lads.
What to do or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Come on.
That was all he needed to know.
Come on.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Civilization.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
As well. Yeah, let's go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This
Never
was
seen
exactly
grass
the
so
way,
flat.
right now, that things were meant to happen.
Wow.
And Stanley was happy.
Oh, somebody. We just died. Again, we died. Wow, Stanley. Cool. Okay, now take another start. But isn't this where, like, all my co-workers were? Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I want to check out
this
this
was
place.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
I want to
perfectly
check
well.
out like that. You know,
Perhaps
that
he wanted to
jump,
stop by
like
the employee lounge
railing.
first, just to admire
Yeah,
it.
I want to check out like where
The
it
lounge
is.
was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business,
Like,
Stanley
you know
took the
how
first
I got on the
open
lift
door
here?
on
I'll
his
see where
left.
the lift actually brings me.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Come. Like that place up there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Keep quiet,
I'm
dude.
not sure
You don't even
you
know
really
your name.
are. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
They
fact
don't
is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Come on.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
Could this guy keep quiet?
Please, stop trying to make every
So
decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking
Go.
for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Who's the
Put
her?
your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's
Yes.
been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Oh my
You
god.
need to be the one to do this.
That is some sort of prank call.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh my god, this gets
Gotcha.
This guy.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to
Wow.
commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see
Wow.
something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Go.
Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is
Who-
a very
who
sad
puts a
story
couch
about
in
the
the
death
doorway?
of a man named Stanley.
Okay, press A.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him. and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Come on. 3.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button.
Wow.
Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry
I
for
really
him,
want to kill this
except
dude.
that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures.
Wow.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Wow.
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Set to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
I can
First,
see what
he
this guy's
imagined
doing.
that
He's
one day
creating
while
my
at work,
office again.
He stepped up from his desk
My
to
fake-
realize
my
that
fake
all
wife
of his
is away on the
co-workers,
door.
his boss,
For the
everyone in
door.
the building had suddenly vanished
That's-
off the face of the
There's
earth.
nothing there.
The
Can I not
thought
go out?
excited him terribly.
I'm gonna spend it. I'm gonna press it. This guy's a troll. He is gonna after the press it, isn't he?
So he went further. He
Wow.
imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door.
Wow.
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too
Oh
wonderful.
my god, look
to
at this
behold.
dude. He just opened my door.
As he wandered through this fantasy world,
Yeah, I
he
can
began
see
to fill
it.
it with many possible
Keep
paths
trying
and
my office carpet and
destinations.
stuff.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
This guy, man.
It was such a
It's a
wonderful
trope.
fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again. And
We
then
just get
again,
this over
and
with,
again,
please.
over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always
But like, look at the
feel
picture.
this
That picture of
freedom.
a very nice
Surely
office.
there's
I
an
wish
answer
my
down
office was
some
like that.
new path. Mustn't there be?
Just look at
Perhaps
this.
if he played just
Is this an
one more
office?
time.
I have a table under my table.
But there is no answer.
Wow.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
He just killed the
The
dog.
longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Coffee. I really love an empty mug. Haha.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
This game should have a
That as
jumping
long as he
feature.
remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't
Under
listen
the
to me.
table.
He won't stop. Here, watch this.
Under the
Stanley,
table.
the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Never do it. Look at this guy, he's like, do not do it, and then he doesn't give us an option.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second
You're
he
a
remains
game.
here, he's electing
You're
to kill
a
himself?
trolling game.
How can I get him to see what I see? How can
You're
I
a
make him
trolling
look at
game.
himself?
Oh.
I
Yes.
suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to.
Keep
I
quiet,
don't
dude.
make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
My
Well, not so
couch
different,
door
I
is
suppose.
gone.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
I really want to kill this dude.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Kill this
And I
dude.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Okay. He just stalked and killed us. Wow. He was stalking to us, then he killed us. This guy is very good. Go.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps.
Wait, what?
A painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could
What?
no longer recall.
Oh, it's the same thing, it's the same thing. You look different because I entered the cycle. Okay. Come on then.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Come on then, let's go.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I walked downstairs. I'm swagging my way down the stairs. Swag. Oh wait, no. The door. Is that over here? Wait, there isn't. Where did I go? You have a stairs? Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's a door behind me.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Why does my office have so many weird flaws?
Why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
Hey guys, just leave in the comments
and then
who do you
something
think is gonna
occurred
win.
to Stanley.
KSI weather. I've been asking this question for like
maybe
all my
I am
videos, but
crazy.
nobody's replied.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at
Come
all.
on.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange
There's a lift there,
observations.
but it's
For
blocked by
example,
everything.
why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors
I
close
didn't realize that.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers were actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. Why he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Like, why is there a guy talking to me?
Being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That this was a dream.
That's a dog.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up.
He's a real troll.
He said to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life.
Just skip this, please. I don't want to hear this dude talking to me.
My life is normal.
Oh my god.
I am normal. Everything will be fine.
This guy sounds like...
Okay.
Like, yeah, that guy. Oh, okay, we're back. Okay. Go.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Wow. Wow.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows.
I know that's us, okay? We're walking through the room and this guy just
she thought to herself,
psychologically killed us.
Normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Skip this. Skip.
And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop playing. Well, that's all for this game, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to leave a like and please subscribe and join my competition for winning that iPhone X. And see ya.